we can start opening it up and getting all the parts stretched out on the table. One of my bags was busted open, and also the packing was slightly opened on the top. I have an odd number of rollers, I think. We're counting now to verify. So I'm not sure if I got an extra one or if I don't have enough. Maybe I'm short one. So we'll see how it goes. Everything's laid out. Well packaged, I would say, in terms of labels.
They don't say how many.
So I'll have to see how many wheels are supposed to be in there. Folks, looks like I have packages for everything on my list. I've got them all checked off. I suggest you do this too when you get yours. I have everything laid out with the labels up so I can see what I'm working with. Took the whole table. I'm not gonna get very much work done on assembly tonight since I got home from work. I thought I would put a light coat on the edges of this wood, and then tomorrow I'll flip it over and put another light coat and do the edges, and then maybe a light sanding with some 400 grit, and I'll put maybe I want to put a color on it, so maybe I'll put some kind of color or something on it. This is what I was recommended to put on, epoxy, but it's appliance epoxy, so I think it'll work good. Okay, I got everything on the list for tools that I needed. There's the list, and I crossed everything out. This says optional, but I bet I've got that, I just didn't pull it out. But there you go, there's the tools you'll need. Okay, looks like we're gonna do the V-wheel assembly kit. So I'm gonna open that up and start assembling the V-wheels. I guess I could just dump everything out, because that way I could see everything. I think I'm supposed to put these in like so. Looks pretty simple. Doesn't look hard at all. Next it says to put these bolts in here. Okay, there's 22 V-wheels, and now I'm going to put the washers on each of them. Okay, all the washers are on. So now I guess I'll start putting all these on. Okay, now I'm gonna put all the bearings in, and I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I have this screwdriver. Just slide down over the top and push the bearings in. I'm a little bit shaky, so you get the idea. Pretty simple. Slide pretty easy. Alright, got all of the bearings pressed in the V-wheels. Pretty proud of myself, that was fast. We're going to move on to the bearing plate assembly. And it says I will start with the anti-backlash nuts with hardware. Okay, I'm going to show you how to put one of these bearing plate assemblies together. First, get your, it's going to be referred to as a M5 set screw. Notice there is on this end where the Allen wrench goes in, leave that on the out end. Screw that in as far as you can by hand. Then it says to tighten this down just until it touches. So that's touching. Next, you're going to see a nut that does not have a locking nylon in it. It's just flat on both sides. You're just going to put that on top where the Allen head was. Next, you're going to take the nylon locking nut, press it down into the outer spot where it holds, and that's referred to as the captive nut holes. This would be considered the M5 jam nut, and this is the M5 set screw. Now all four are done. Okay, for the first part of the assembly of the Y idler end plate, it says to put these V-bearings on the bottom two using these 1/4 inch spacers, and you'll need the M5 nylon locking nuts. I already have my bearings with the bolts still in them, and I orientated my plates both on the table with the pictures exactly. So I'm going to put a spacer and then a wheel and flip it over. Oops, slipped out. And put a nut on. And I'm not going to tighten it because it says not to tighten it. And I'm going to repeat that on the other plate. Got the two bottom wheels on. So I just went ahead and snugged these up. They're not real tight. So I did that on both plates. Now I'm just going to snug them up. Not too tight, just barely snug. Back them off just a little bit after it touches. That way I can have some play. Do the same thing to all these. Okay, so now we're going to put the pillow block, and you're looking for a bag like this with 3 of these in there. Those are your pillow blocks. And I took mine out and it's a little crooked. The bearings in there crooked, so I'm going to see if I can straighten that out. I hope that doesn't affect it any. But anyway, you install that right here by putting 2 screws in that came in this package here, M5 by 16 machine screws, and there's only 2 in there. And they look like this. Put 1 through each hole, and then the nylon locking nut is what goes on the back. And then just snug that up. Mainly you want to make sure this center doesn't misalign. Now we're going to install an anti-backlash block, and the way we're going to do that is flipping the plate over opposite side. And then, according to the image, it goes just like this, with this groove facing down to the bottom of the plate, the nuts facing the top, and you're looking for a bag that looks like this. It says M5 by 16 button cap screw, and you're going to need more of these nuts with the nylon locking. Well, I'm sorry, you'll have to put them in this anti-backlash if you didn't already do that in the previous step. Says not to tighten them, so I'm just going to put them in finger tight for now to hold it in place. Gonna repeat that for the other plate using the same cap screws. Okay, I did this off camera. Okay, I did this part off camera because I needed a lot of hands and so on. But basically, you put this in just like it says, a little bit snug but not too tight, where you can still move this a little bit, thread this through here by hand. And then what I did is I took a combination square and I